Hello YouTube and fellow DC Comic fans! I'm Kelly One Shot, and this is the Post-Crisis Podcast. And today, we're going to talk about The Batman Who Laughs, number 7, from DC Comics, written by Scott Snyder, with artwork by Jacques. Okay, so this is the final issue in the 7-part miniseries of The Batman Who Laughs, written by Scott Snyder, created by Scott Snyder, and we do know eventually this series will essentially continue into a new series involving Superman, Batman, and The Batman Who Laughs. So sadly to spoil it right off the beginning, but we know in advance he will not die in this story. Either way, we start this fight off between Batman and Batman Who Laughs as Batman is struggling to hold on to his sanity and not fully become the Batman Who Laughs because he was injected with a serum that will turn him into the Batman Who Laughs. It's the Joker serum, and eventually he'll become a second Batman Who Laughs. The two are fighting in front of Wayne Manor as they're talking about their ideology, and the artwork in this book is crazy. The gnarly, sharp teeth of the Batman Who Laughs in his demonic form look really crazy and intense, and we see that Batman's blood is about to fully corrupt, and once this little light on the serum holder that the Batman Who Laughs has turns red, it means his blood will have fully corrupted, and he'll become a second Batman Who Laughs, and his blood will be the last ingredient in creating the serum that will turn the rest of Gotham City into demonic nightmares such as himself. There is also a young Bruce Wayne here from a different multiverse who is also another part of the serum, so the Batman Who Laughs is trying to get that Bruce Wayne. He's trying to get the blood from our Batman, and this is all happening in front of Wayne Manor. Meanwhile, there's also another confrontation happening beneath Gotham City that involves the Grim Knight, another Batman who took on totalitarian control of his city, and he wants to stop Jim Gordon and James Gordon in our world because Jim Gordon is the person who took down his reign over Gotham City in his universe, and he's also working for the Batman Who Laughs here in our universe, as he's going to be the one to put the serum into the blood that is eventually the drones are going to pick up, thinking they're going to cleanse the city with it, but instead they're going to infect the city with this toxic water and create these nightmaric people. So this is all happening. So you got Jim Gordon and James Gordon both wearing Batman Beyond suits trying to fight off against the Grim Knight, but it's actually James Gordon who is now working with the Grim Knight instead of his father because the Grim Knight is trying to manipulate James into eventually becoming his Robin, essentially, in the future after this all happens and is successful. So the Batman Who Laughs, going back to that, actually tells our Bruce Wayne that there can only be one Batman Who Laughs. That after this is all over with, that after he becomes the Batman Who Laughs and his blood is used to create and toxify the rest of Gotham, that he's going to have to kill himself. So our Batman can live on as his protege and carry on the Batman Who Laughs legacy because he ultimately wants to corrupt the soul of Batman and prove something and turn our Batman just as evil and wicked as he is. But little does he know is our Batman is actually trying his best to fight back. He's actually talking to him as if he believes in him, as if he agrees with him, that he wants to fully embrace the darkness and become the madness. So going back beneath Gotham City, we see Jim Gordon actually jumps into the water to try to stop the serum from going into the water, and James goes in to try to stop his father in the name of the Grim Knight here. And the Grim Knight actually gets Jim Gordon, and he pushes his head under the water, and he says, "You know what, James? Instead of killing him, we're going to make him our first victim. We're going to turn him." So he's holding Jim Gordon's head under the water. And he says, "If you don't breathe in the water, then I'm going to have your son stab you. So either way, just accept your fate, Jim." But then we go back up above Wayne Manor, where we see the demonic Batman Who Laughs going up against our Bruce Wayne, and he's about to shoot himself. And he's about to end it because our Batman is about to be fully corrupted, and the serum is going to turn red. And then we see the younger Bruce Wayne there as well, and he's hiding behind the tombstones, and the Batman Who Laughs is about to kill himself, and he goes, "You know what? You think I don't know about your trick, that you're not really fully into this, that you're not embracing the hatred in your heart. You don't think I knew that you had a trick involved in this whole situation." And instead of killing himself, he shoots our Batman in the shoulder, and he goes, "You almost had me, Bruce. You let me guess you knew that any syringe I brought would have Wayne tech, so you rigged a charge in your suit to turn the light red, when in reality, it would still be green. Now I don't know why you're not changing all the way, but I don't care anymore. See, I was the best friend you've ever had, Bruce. Now I'm just going to kill you." And he tries to kill our Batman, and then we go beneath Gotham City, and James Gordon is going to stab his father for the Grim Knight, and the drones came in and picked up the toxin, and they're about to spread it across the city, and he says, "Jim, take a sip of the water." And then we actually go back above Gotham City, and Bruce Wayne is still struggling to fight back against the Batman Who Laughs. And then we see the young Bruce Wayne stand up, and he actually runs away, which causes the Batman Who Laughs to run away and chase after him because he still needs his blood for his serum. And in this, we actually see James Gordon take off his mask, and he grabs a knife, and he's about to stab his father for the Grim Knight. Then we go back up, and we see that the Batman Who Laughs is going to stab the young Bruce Wayne and get everything he wants. But it's here that Alfred actually stands up. He pulls out a gun, and he says, "Never! Stay back, you abomination!" And the Batman Who Laughs tries to fight back against Alfred, and he tells Alfred, "Do you know what happened to the Alfred on my world? Because I've never told you. He tried to lure me into the cave. He rigged all the Batmobiles and all the computer defense systems to try and kill me. But I didn't kill you, Alfred. I took you down and locked you in the sublevels of the Batcave, and I fed you scraps, and I whispered in your ear for over a year. And eventually, I managed to convince you that there was still good in me. The little boy was still alive in here. And then I corrupted you slowly over time." Then, throughout this conversation, our Bruce Wayne actually tells the Batman Who Laughs that after our first encounter, I set up traps for you in places that only Bruce Wayne would know. Crime Alley, the cave, the manor, right here. Because I knew you'd always make any fight personal for the soul of Batman. And then out of nowhere, these traps, these harpoons fire into the side of the Batman Who Laughs, and he gets took down. And they actually have electric shock stuff within them as well. And Batman actually admits to him that he looked into the dark multiverse, and he looked throughout the multiverse, and he did realize that the Batman Who Laughs was right, that he isn't the best Batman, that other Batmen were more successful in changing their cities and making their cities what they wanted, that they all lived happier lives than him. But he's not ultimately the worst Batman, because the worst Batman is the one that loses to him. And he clobbers the Batman Who Laughs. He picks up Martha Wayne's gravestone and knocks it over Batman Who Laughs' head, and he stomps on it, and he gets him to plead for his life. And he does. The Batman Who Laughs pleads, "Stop." Then we actually go back beneath Gotham City, where James Gordon goes to stab his father, but instead stabs the Grim Knight over and over again, killing him, but also revealing the monster that is inside of James Gordon this whole time. The thing that we knew about, the reason why he was locked up and never going to be set free. So James Gordon shows that he is that monster, even if he's trying to save his father. We actually see that the drones have stopped in all of this happening, and the Grim Knight is dead, and then out of nowhere, up above Gotham City, as our Batman is embracing his hatred and attemptedly killing the Batman Who Laughs, we actually see the Joker pop up and say, "Hey, Bats, you're welcome." And then he shoots him. Blam. Then we actually wake up 2 weeks later inside of the Batcave. Bruce Wayne has a bunch of bandages on, and he's actually melting the dark nth metal so that way there can be no more portal or window into the dark multiverse, and that this dark metal is going to be cured from Gotham City. And then we find out that he had a blood transfusion with the young Bruce Wayne because his blood acted in some kind of way that we've never seen before, that it was a cord plasma of some kind of embryonic stem cell that was made specifically for him, and that Alfred says that the Batman Who Laughs was wrong because he told the young Bruce Wayne that in a year or so your parents are going to ask you to go to the theaters, and you plead and you beg with them not to go. And he says that he has helped and changed that young man's life, hopefully. And then we actually see Bruce Wayne is talking about that he wasn't able to fully fight back the drug on his own, that he wasn't fully able to fight back becoming the Batman Who Laughs. He says that Joker most likely rigged the original toxin in his heart before all of this to give him more time than anyone assumed, because he says that when Joker woke up here, he kept saying one thing over and over again: you're breaking my heart. And then he says that in ancient times, the court jester with the slowest wit often wore a broken heart insignia, the Heartbreakers. Is also a term for a joke that's too funny but takes too long to land. In fact, that he was able to function given all of the drugs you pumped into him, all of it suggests that he added some kind of mass decelerant agent just to give Batman enough time. And Alfred actually tells him here that that's not the case. He tested the serum. There was no deceleration agent. That you were able to fight back against all of this out of sheer will. Maybe just alone because you're Batman, and that's enough. And it's here that Bruce actually tells Alfred that the same thing, that he looked into the dark multiverse and he was impressed with all of them and how they were able to change their city, and that even the one who laughs had these grander plans for change that he was almost able to make happen, and that they're so much more effective in changing their city and that they're happier. And he says that he is the worst Batman, but he also talks about how human nature is to want to do these evil things, and that is within us, but it is that we have to make those judgments for ourselves, that we have to overcome our base instincts. And he actually says that he's not saying that he's wrong about us, Alfred, and he actually says that the Nightmare is trapped underneath the Hall of Justice, but he says that the Nightmare is actually built on truth, and he says that the Joker says that to accept that there's no meaning in your actions is to win, and I say to believe there is meaning in all your actions is to win, but that the Batman Who Laughs says that there is no meaning in your actions, therefore the only meaningful act is to win. He is the fear that we are both right, the Joker and I. The fear that, without any grander meaning, at heart, we're all cold, selfish, animalistic things. But we have to go up against our nature. Just like bats are able to fly, and even though they're not built with hollow bones and these soft, small bodies like birds are, that they go up against nature, and they defy that, and they become what they were meant to become. And it's actually then here that we see James Gordon and Jim Gordon talking to each other. They're both talking about how neither one of them are actually ready to really move on to the next step, and that maybe the place that James is at is the right place, because ultimately he's still a corrupted being. He's still capable of killing and showing that dark side within him. And as Alfred and Batman are still talking kind of about how he's able to defy everything and that he's going to be better than all the other Batmans day in and day out, the two are just kind of talking about this and wrapping up the series a little bit. We actually see that Jim Gordon is walking through the city. But something's happening to him. And at the end, his eyes go red and he gets corrupted. So we do know that in the Superman Batman #1, the horror will continue, and that Jim Gordon might be a part of that craziness, and he might even be the one who lets the Batman Who Laughs go. I don't know. We'll find out more. This has been an amazing series. I love Scott Snyder's work. I'm sure we all love his creation in both the Grim Knight and especially the Batman Who Laughs. This has been a fun ride, and I'm kind of excited that it's going to continue. I was kind of hoping that it would wrap up a little bit and we'd kind of set this character down to not overburn him too much, but he is going to be involved in the Batman Superman series, and that comes out August 28th, so that's really right around the corner at the end of the month. I look forward to it. I know Scott Snyder's not going to let us down, and yeah, my opinion is the series is awesome. I had a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed talking about it, reading it. I have several reviews going back to my time with comicbookcorpse.com and even continuing into Comic Book Legion, where I am now. Where you can find this video is comicbooklegion.com. There's a lot of great people there. You have the Nation of Nerds, and you have so many other great writers and contributors there, and I'm a part of this group, and I'm happy to be a part of this group as well. Check us out. Check this video out. As always, you can find my videos at Kelly One Shot at YouTube, which is going to be youtube.com/OneShotTheory. You can find me on Twitter as well. Just look up Kelly One Shot, and I'm sure you'll stumble across me. Either way, take care, have a great day, and goodbye.